If you just got a new camera and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all these buttons and menus, or you just want to turn off the sounds on your camera, hopefully this video will save you from a lot of frustration opening up a new camera. What's up guys, John here. January is the time of year when a lot of people are either getting their first camera or upgrading cameras, or they finally decide that they're going to take photography or video seriously. And the biggest mistake I see people make is getting overwhelmed with all these settings on their camera, or their photos and videos don't turn out like they were hoping from that nice new camera that they just got, or the coloring in the photos just doesn't look good, or maybe you're switching from auto to manual mode and it just is so intimidating to figure out manual mode. So in this video I'm walking you through 7 things you should do immediately after getting a brand new camera or a new upgrade, so you can actually enjoy using it to start getting better results right away. Before you even take a photo or you hit record on your camera, the very first thing you should do is go into your settings. You want to make sure that you're getting the best image quality out of your camera. So if you haven't switched from shooting in auto mode to manual mode, you'll want to switch that. If you're wanting to learn manual mode, it's a great time. Just jump right in and figure it out. Shooting in manual gives you control over how your photos and your videos are going to turn out. And for photos, you can choose whether you're going to shoot in JPEG or in RAW. And if you're just starting out, shooting JPEG is totally fine. And as you get more into editing your photos, you can switch to RAW to get some more detail out of your photos. JPEG files are just smaller, they're easier to work with. You don't have to spend hours editing them later if you don't want to. You can focus on actually learning how to use your camera instead of dreading the editing process later and a ton of raw files taking up a ton of space on your hard drive. So if you want to learn more about these two, between JPEG and RAW, be sure to check out this video. I'll link it up here for you. For video, make sure you're intentionally setting your resolution and your frame rate instead of leaving everything on auto. It's important to keep your shutter speed and your frame rate set using the 180-degree shutter rule so that your footage actually turns out good. This one step alone can either save you from realizing later that you shot everything in the wrong format, so make sure that you have your resolution and your shutter speed set correctly. You ever taken a photo or shot a video and you're wondering why everything just looks so blue tinted, or why everything is very warm and bright and not how you're actually seeing it with your eye? This is your white balance setting in your camera. You want to make sure that your white balance is correct. Auto white balance works until it doesn't, and then you're trying to edit your shots afterwards to make it look normal. You're trying to match your shots to other shots that you've already taken. The easiest fix for this is just choosing a preset. Quickly go over what the Kelvin settings actually kind of look like, from 2500 to 10,000 Kelvin. And then you've also got just the preset settings like this. You've got daylight, you've got cloudy, you've got shade and sunny and tungsten and fluorescent and things like that. But then you also have the Kelvin setting, which gives you the whole range from very cool tones to very warm tones. So this is 2500 Kelvin, 3000 Kelvin, 4000 Kelvin, 5000 Kelvin, 6000 Kelvin, 7000 Kelvin, 8000 Kelvin, 9000 Kelvin, and then you have 10,000 Kelvin. Depending on what your camera settings will allow you to go up to, but you get a pretty good range in there to be able to adjust to whatever coloring style you want your white balance to look like. This helps your skin tones will actually stay looking natural and saves you a ton of time editing later. If you want to customize your white balance and get your own style or your own special look, you can always just adjust the Kelvin setting as well, instead of going one of those preset settings. I like to use the Kelvin setting to set each of my videos to get my own specific look. Now the third thing here is to customize one of the buttons on your camera. You don't need to customize all the buttons or your entire camera, but I highly recommend customizing at least one button. For me, I set the ISO to be controlled when I press the function button up here. That way I can quickly adjust the ISO right here. I've got my aperture back here and my shutter speed. And this makes your camera feel faster and more personal to you and easier to use. It keeps you from digging through the menus every time you need to dial in your shot. Number 4, understand the exposure triangle. If you're switching over to manual, you're going to want to figure out what the exposure triangle actually is, how it affects everything. You don't need to master everything right away, but you do need to understand what each of the settings does. I mentioned this at the beginning, but understanding the exposure triangle will help you get faster when you're adjusting settings for different types of shots that you want to get. The aperture controls how blurry your background is going to be and how much is in focus. The shutter speed is going to control motion. It's how fast your camera is taking the photo or the video. And the ISO controls the brightness or the noise that you will be getting in your image. Once you've practiced more and you understand these settings better, you're already ahead of most beginners starting out in manual mode. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to break down the exposure triangle even more, whether that's for shooting video or photos, and I'll be sure to make a video for you if you're interested. Number 5 is to turn off any annoying sounds or things on your camera that are going to be distracting or interrupting you. One thing that people may not like on your camera is all the menu sounds and the beeps when you're going through your menus, you're setting settings, and it's just making all those noises. You can go through your menu and turn off anything that's going to be distracting, especially if you're going to be shooting like in events or weddings where you need your camera to be quiet. And on some cameras, you can even change what the shutter sounds like. Any beeps, lights, or when the camera sleeps when you're not using it and it's just sitting on standby and you have to turn it back on again. Your camera should disappear when you're creating and not constantly interrupting you with different noises or things like that. So set it up how you like, and that makes it fun for you to use. Next, you're going to want to check your focus mode. You want to make sure that your focus mode is correct. For photos, single autofocus works great. For video or moving subjects, the continuous autofocus or a servo mode, which is usually better for tracking subjects. And if your camera has the eye autofocus, you'll want to turn that on. Soft focus is one of the fastest ways to ruin an otherwise great shot. All right, lastly, number 7, you want to do a test shoot. Before you shoot anything important, do a quick check. Take a few test photos or record a short clip to make sure that your settings are dialed in. For video, if you're using an external microphone, make sure that this is plugged in all the way. Check that you've got audio, make sure you've got the correct audio level, it's not peaking, your exposure is set, and you're good to go. A few minutes of testing beforehand can save you hours of frustration later. You're trying to edit everything and fix it in post. For photos, take a sample photo and make sure you've got everything dialed in, and then go ahead and keep taking photos. All right, that's it for this video. If these tips help you out in getting your new camera set up, be sure to hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I'll catch you in the next one.